This is the topic we want to explore today.
Love is liberation.
Love is liberation. Oh, that's nice. I think that encapsulates the class. We're finished.
Sorry.
So, a couple of days ago, we had a class on yoga psychology, and we explored some of the workings of the mind and how the basic function of the mind is raga dvesha, like and dislike, and how the consciousness is always oscillating between these two polarities of the mind. It likes one thing and it's rejecting something else, and this is constantly going on throughout our life, throughout our day, at every moment. And so this is called manodharma, the basic function of mind. So also on our spiritual journey, we bring this propensity of perceiving reality through the mind state, and we project that onto the transcendence. So when we're living life through the prism of the mind, there's one foundational aspect to it, and that is Bhayam Dvitiya Abhinivesh. It's characterized by fear. It's by fear. Because when you're pushing something away and you're moving towards something else, there's an underlying aspect of fear. And because each person here is coming from different backgrounds, different experiences in life, and these experiences, the Sanskrit name is called samskar. I'm not giving you a Sanskrit lesson here, I'm just giving you a map, an overview. But Sanskrit has a particular potency, and it'll help you have realization by repeating the Sanskrit term. So these impressions, these samskaras that we collect through life, they collect in our consciousness, in our mind, and it gives rise to a sense of identity, a persona, a particular mask that we all wear. And then from that perspective of the persona, we engage with reality, with life, through this particular prism of persona that we each have. And this persona, it has fears, it has triggers, and particularly for those close to us, we don't want to be triggered by them. So we try to arrange a situation in our life. Like, there's one famous history in India called the Ramayana, very famous epic. And in the Ramayana, there was one demonic personality, one powerful yogi. His name was Hiranyakashipu, and he wanted to arrange a situation for himself where he could be immortal. So he done austerity, tapasya in the Himalayas, for a very long time. And then one god appeared to him, Brahma, and gave him some blessings. And he said, I want to be immortal. This is the same mentality now. I want Botox, we want to upload our consciousness to the cloud, we want to live forever. So we also have this mentality of Hiranyakashipu. We want to be immortal, so I can enjoy forever. So Brahmaji said to him, actually, even I am not immortal. This is the oldest living being in the universe. So I cannot grant that which I do not even have myself. So then Hiranyakashipu, we were hearing the other night how we engage our intelligence in the agenda of the ego to try to satisfy our likes and push away the dislikes. This is how we engage our intelligence. So then he engaged his intelligence to try to gratify his egoic desire. And he thought he was very clever, like a lawyer. So then he said, okay then, give me the benediction. I cannot be killed in the day or the night. I cannot be killed in the on the water or on the land. I cannot be killed by any weapon, by any human. So in this way he sort of tried to cover all his bases, and indirectly he tried to get the blessing, I will be immortal. And then Brahmaji said, Tatastu, so be it, and gave him the blessings and then went away. many people here know the history, that later the Supreme Divine Consciousness appeared in the form of Nrsingadev, half man, half lion, in the dusk time. So it's not day and it's not night. And it was in a doorway, so it wasn't inside, it wasn't outside, because you cannot outsmart the Supreme Lord. So the Supreme Lord, and he killed Hiranyakashipu with his nails. So because he also asked for the boon, no living thing should kill me. So the nails, they're no weapon. They're not a weapon. And the nails, they're not really dead, but they're also not really living. You can chop them off, right? They don't hurt. So in this way, that Hiranyakashipu was finished. So in our conditioned state, we have this mentality of Hiranyakashipu, that we're trying to arrange a situation in our life to be very comfortable, to be very satisfied, and no one else should trigger me. We don't look at why I'm getting triggered, we just try to arrange a situation that none of my triggers get activated. So this is Hiranyakashipu. But have you ever noticed life, the universe, has a way of being like a dishcloth and squeezing out the small self, that small egoic self, and it'll arrange situations in your life to bring that out and to bring it out, because we are not this small persona, and it's very heavy to operate because we are a diurnal consciousness. Krishna has given scientific knowledge of the soul in chapter 2 Bhagavad Gita. And so the soul cannot be cut by any weapon, it cannot be drowned in water, it cannot be burnt by fire. The soul is immortal, non-material. But we are living life as I am this body, I am this mind, I am this persona. So we've taken something eternal and immortal and we've reduced it down to identification with this one little thing. It's a very, very heavy burden to carry. And the degree to which you identify with your small self, to that degree you think other people are also their small selves. So, world views, they are self views. And we have this mentality in our conditioned state that I am so important and I am the center of existence. And everyone should be engaged in my agenda to serve me. I don't want to serve others, I don't want to serve God. I am most important. This was the mentality of Hiranyakashipu. And what happens to people with this mentality? They all die. Yeah? Everyone will die. But still we engage with life in such a way, I am immortal, I will live forever, I will create a very nice position for myself in this world. And we engage all our energy in that. But we give very little time to actually nourishing the soul. So I pose a question to you. What is freedom? What is liberation? What comes to your mind? You can popcorn out some words and I'll write them down. No right or wrong answers. What comes to mind when you hear freedom, liberation?
Detachment.
Detachment?
Happiness.
Say again?
Happiness.
Happiness?
Spaciousness.
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction?
Connection.
What is liberation? What is freedom to you? What arises in your consciousness?
To be connected.
To be connected?
Yeah, I was gonna say I heard connection.
Liberation, I was thinking of impersonal liberation when I heard that word. And it's out of context. I was
Spiritual?
thinking of a Buddhist monk.
Spiritual?
Acceptance.
You're beating me now.
Think of a monk sitting below, some lama sitting up in the Himalaya. Yeah. The word liberation.
Complacent.
Anything else? At the back there?
Complacement. Oh. Some contribution here. More contributions.
Light.
Light?
Stability.
Stimulating?
Stability.
Stability.
Liberation, stability.
That's it? We don't think so much? Okay. So, another question. Is love the same as liberation?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes? We've got a yes.
Yeah.
I want to say yes. Yeah.
Because
Love is the same as liberation. We've got 2 yeses. Any higher bidders in the back? Oh.
To be liberated.
I'm not sure.
Say sometimes. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Depends.
Sometimes yes.
Depends.
Relationship.
Depends the kind of love. Depends how you define love.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
So, close your eyes now and maybe just sit up tall for a moment. And just connect with your breath. And hear the sound of your own breath flowing in and out. And let your body relax. Now imagine that perhaps you're on some nice warm tropical island. You're alone, but you have everything you need. Fresh mangoes, papaya, nice dwelling for you to live in. All comforts, all material comforts are there. And you are free from desire. You're not longing, not in this up and down of the mind, getting one thing and then longing for the next, this cycle of the mind. You are content, you are peaceful. No money worries, no health issues. Everything's provided. You're completely free, no stress, no tax to pay. How do you feel?
Wow.
The sun, you can feel the warmth of the sun on your face.
Bored, looking for what's next.
Bored?
I feel free.
Free?
In peace.
Peace? This goes on 1 year,
Wow.
2 year,
Annoyed.
10 years, you're alone. But everything's provided. What does anything start to arise within you?
I don't have no company. I don't have anyone to talk to or relate to.
Anything else? Or what does anyone else want to share? Anything?
There's
Love, I guess.
need of connection, like it's annoying.
You want to share it with someone.
Yeah.
You want to share it with someone. You ever notice that the big millionaires, billionaires, they've got the private yacht, they've got the big fancy plane, got trillions and jillions of dollars, and then they have a 20-year-old girlfriend. Or they have everything materially, and so there's the aspect that they want to enjoy their senses with a fresh body, but they want to share it with someone, isn't it? So we just had a kind of quasi-taste of some level of freedom, of liberation, and it's the natural experience. We want to share it with someone.
You hear it all the time, people saying like about relationships or going on holiday or something. It's so much nicer. Why you want to share life with someone?
So freedom is peaceful. The mind's peaceful because it's not in a state of oscillation. You're not troubled by the anxieties of the mind, by the pangs and the cravings of the mind. You're peaceful, and that is a great relief in the body. But the heart's longing for this connection. It's not some big woo-woo philosophy. You don't need no PhD. You don't need to read a book. It's there in everyone's experience. So sometimes we have a motivation for liberation. Actually, this is the prominent drive. Why are we desiring liberation? It's because often it's from a frustration of our worldly experience. Life's not easy. Bills to pay, children to look after, problems at home, parents. Think you're enlightened, go and have a weekend with your family, you know. So there's many challenges in life. So then we turn to religion. And oh, God help us, all the problems in religion. So then, okay, we still have a craving for something deeper. So then we think, okay, the safe bet is I want to be liberated from the small self that is a burden to carry. Because when you're relating with people through this prism of the small self, it's a very heavy burden for you and a heavy burden to put on the other person. And you'll never be satisfied from that level of relation. So this liberation, it's a drive to be free from our material sufferings, or perhaps often, you know, one of my teachers says it's the last bastion of Maya. When everything else hasn't worked out in this world, we have this conception, if I just meet the one. If I just meet the one, my life will be so great. Nothing else works.
It'll rescue me from
Yeah, my relationship with my family is horrible.
Meet the rescue.
I got no money in the bank, but if I meet the one, yes, that'll be great. All you need is love. That's what the Beatles say, right? So
Yeah.
if I just meet the one, what a heavy thing to put on someone. You gotta save me from all the things that have failed in my life. You're the one. It's on you. Will you marry me?
Give me more burdens then.
I mean, I'm saying it in a comical way, but this is an unconscious pattern of how we relate, and we're all doing this in our conditioned experience. And I'm not sitting here like, oh yes, I'm Mr. Enlightened and I'm free from this. No, this is our journey in our conditioned state. So when we become frustrated with our material experience, then the drive for liberation arises. If I can just have peace, I'll be happy forever. But we've just felt, even in our own mind when we go there, that longing for connection is there. So, what do enlightened people do? Here's a question. What do enlightened people do?
Pray. Meditate.
Pray, meditate,
To guide other people.
surrender,
Commune with their God.
commune with God. What did Buddha do after the Bodhi tree? What did Jesus do? What did Muhammad do?
They guide other people.
They guide other people. They share. Are they just sitting there, oh, I'm peaceful, oh, sorry for you guys. They are engaged in the world. Saint Francis of Assisi, Saint Teresa of Avila, many great saints. Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, so many great saints. They are engaged in the world, sharing. They are serving in an act of service, selfless service. They are not just reveling in their own state of contentment. And have you ever noticed, even in traditions whose main sadhya, because there's a term called sadhan, spiritual practice. Who here is doing some form of spiritual practice? Okay, most of us. So when you're engaging in an activity that's a spiritual practice, that's called sadhana. But that sadhana leads to sadhya. That is the goal. So what's the goal of our practice? Where is it going? Where is it taking us? Does anyone know? Does anyone have a orientation that their practice is taking them towards? Oneness?
Is peace?
Peace?
Love.
Love?
Unity of mankind?
Unity? Even in traditions that emphasize liberation, and if we do a consumer census of those who actually obtain enlightenment in any tradition, it's the statistics don't look too well, but that's another thing. But let's still be engaged in it, and if it's not in this life, it'll be in future lives. So even in traditions whose objective is liberation, when they obtain enlightenment, to use an English term, what do? They're engaged in service. So you can be free from material desire, but still that longing in the heart is there. Once there was 4 celestial sages, Sanat Kumar, Sanatan Kumar, Sanandan Kumar, and Sanat Kumar. And they eternally have the form of 5-year-old boys, although they're very, very old beings. They are Manasputra, born from the mind of Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe. And the reason they have the form of 5-year-old boys is because when you get a little bit older, the birds and the bees start to buzz, and then the mind becomes very perturbed. So to display this analogy of purity of the child, of the consciousness, they're fully adult, but they have this, not to be disturbed by the passionate energy. They eternally have the form of 5-year-old boys. And so they were Brahmagyanis. They were completely free from material desire. Their minds were completely peaceful. They didn't even want an ice cream. Completely peaceful. And they were satisfied. But one day together, they were traveling and they thought, let's go to the spiritual world, to Vaikuntha. In Sanskrit, the spiritual world is called Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha, without anxiety, a plane of no anxiety. That is the spiritual dimension. No anxiety. So they decided to go there. And they were going through the 16 gates of Vaikuntha, and when they got to gate number 7, they were stopped by 2 guards, Jai and Vijay. And then these 4 celestial sages, they were like, hey, what are you up to? We're going through here. Because they were absorbed in oneness. They didn't see distinction between anything. Between a stick and a naked woman, it was the same for them. So how can we not go anywhere? We're just like children going here and there. So why are you stopping us? So then they decided to give a curse to these 2 gatekeepers. And then a bit of an argument ensued. And they cursed these gatekeepers that you should fall down from your position. And then those gatekeepers, they became very, very humble and said, oh, please have mercy upon us. And then just then, a very great personality appeared, dressed in yellow pitambai, yellow cloth. And he arrived with his associates. And the associates, one of them was holding an umbrella. And on the umbrella, there was pearls hanging, swinging back and forth, and they were like droplets of nectar, like melting snow falling from icicles in the warm sun. And he wore a long garland of flowers and tulsi, and buzzing bees were coming around that flower garland. And he was accompanied on his left side by the goddess of fortune. And then in his right hand, he was twirling a lotus. And with his elbow, he was leaning on his vehicle, his associate Garuda. Garuda's worshipped a lot in Bali, Indonesia. So then, when the breeze touched the fragrance of the garland of flowers on that personality's name was Narayan, one name for the Supreme Lord, Lord Narayan. When that fragrance from his Tulsi garland was carried in the breeze and entered into the nostrils of these four celestial sages, these four brothers, they were completely peaceful. No desire. Mind was zen. The mind was shanti. When that fragrance entered their mind became perturbed. What's going on? Nothing material can ever disturb their mind. What is this? They never experienced anything like it. So then they realized, this is not something material. This must be the Supreme Lord himself. So then they gave up this desire to be Brahmagyanis, just absorbed in the impersonal light of Brahma. Because sometimes we have this conception that the ultimate reality is like a homogeneous light. This is a projection of our material experience onto transcendence. And we see here that all form is limited. Form will die, has a beginning, middle, and end. Therefore, the supreme truth cannot be a person, because people die. So we apply our logical material intelligence onto the transcendent reality. But Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha. His body is made of knowledge, eternity, and bliss. Our body is made of earth, water, fire, air, and space. And when we die, it will return back to dust. But Krishna's body, the Supreme Lord's body, is not like that. It's a condensed form of bliss. Have you ever seen a condensed form of bliss? That's Krishna. So, when they saw the personal form of the Lord, they very easily gave up this lower conception of just worshipping the light. Because to see the source of the light, that is the beauty of Krishna. Oh, the all-pervading light pales in comparison. So, even these four celestial sages, the four Kumaras, they give us that example that even if you're realized Brahman, you're completely peaceful, still in the heart, you want relationality, you want love. And if you come in contact with that divine love, even liberation pales in comparison. So in our tradition, we say love is the highest thing, not liberation. Love is the highest thing. So then we pose the question, what is love? People talking love, 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 love. But what is it? I love ice cream. Is that love? So we can popcorn some terms now, whatever comes to your mind. What is love?
Desire.
Desire.
Service.
Service.
Reciprocity. Reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
Yeah.
I'll put exchange. So I don't know how to spell that.
Emotion.
Emotion. Anything else? Melting of the. Oh, this is very good.
Duty.
Passion.
Passion.
Compassion.
Compassion.
Liberation.
Liberation.
Passion again.
What was that?
No, it's again.
Anything else?
Attachment.
Attachment.
Duty.
Booty. Yep, got that one. So that's love. So maybe before we explore that a little more, let's have a little kirtan to keep our mind fresh. In our tradition, getting together and chanting invoking the divine sound vibration is the quickest and most effective practice to purify our consciousness so we can actually experience what is divine love. The sound is so powerful, so powerful. Even material sound. And these sounds are not material, they are spiritual. They have descended from the spiritual plane. No? There's a goddess of love. Love personified. In the spiritual domain, everything's a person. So the source of love, she's also a person, the source of devotion. And whatever love that we have is just one drop of mercy from her. What's her name? Radhe, 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 Radhe,
Radhe,
One last time, all together, love personified. Radhe, 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 Radhe. So this is called the Prem zone. Prem means divine love. In Greek, there's many terms for love. Eros, agape. So the closest Greek term for prem is agape. It's a divine love. It's a love free from selfishness. Its characteristic is selflessness. So we see in this world, we say, I love you. But this love is often transactional. In the beginning of a relationship, you feel love and you see very easily the nice qualities in someone. And then after some time, that vision, it begins to wane, and then their small faults become the centerpiece of your vision. Isn't it? So I've heard. And then we engage in a campaign that we want that person to change their faults because they're triggering me. Hey, you're not living up to the contract. So this is a kind of transactional love. And when the contract gets broken, big problem coming. But in the beginning, when we're feeling some semblance of that divine love, it's very natural to see that, even if it's just a small quality, we amplify it and see there's something very nice in someone. But then the manodharma, the mind, intercepts when the hormones go down. And like and dislike, right? I like this, I don't like that in you, you should change it. And we're on the cart of the mind. So this is not prem, this is not divine love. So some of us here, we're in a school of love to learn about what is love. It's a place of inquiry. And the goal of life is love. So liberation can be characterized by freedom, a cessation of suffering. But in our earlier meditation, very quickly we realize that still the heart longs for exchange. So love is dynamic. It's active. Prem is an active exchange of love with the divine. It's also voluntary. You can't put a gun to someone's head and say, oh, love me. Some people have tried. But it's not true love. So everyone's looking for love. And they want a loving relationship that will last. Can it be found here? Why not? Because everything here is temporary. Your body will perish, your beloved's body will perish, your mind will change, everything's moving in a state of flux. But still we have this desire, I want lasting love. But it's zero, it's not in our experience. So from where is this desire coming? It's a sign of our eternality. It's a desire that the wellspring is from the soul. C.S. Lewis, he says, if I have a desire that cannot be fulfilled on this plane, therefore I must conclude I must be made for another world. That's Vaikuntha, the domain of no anxiety. Because our soul's eternal and it wants eternal loving relationship. And that can only be found on the divine plane with God. Doesn't mean we can't have beautiful experiences here, but they are finite. And we want infinite relationship of love. So sometimes we want liberation and we're afraid of love. We're afraid of relation because we have material experience of relationship. Maybe you've been hurt before.
Yeah.
So this can put people off. And then all the nonsense that's gone on in the name of God and religion, which actually has nothing to do with God. It has everything to do with man's egoic agenda for power and control, and they use God as their front piece for that agenda. So sometimes also love is characterized by service, like a mother's love for her child. She has to get up every couple of hours, feed the baby. Baby can't even burp itself, so helpless. But the mother gives up sleep, everything to serve the baby because she loves the baby. There's still maybe some material conception there. When I'm older, you better look after me. So even mother's love is the most purest thing in this world we can come close to praying, but still there's some material transactional exchange that subconsciously can be there. So when we hear service, I don't want to serve. I want to be served because I'm important. I'm Hiranyakashipu. We don't say this to ourselves, but this is pretty much how we act in our conditioned state. And the soul is an emanating unit. It is made to give love. So as soon as we're in a state of wanting to receive, we've lost our own foundation. We've lost ourselves. We're just lost in the mind. I want this, and it comes from a state of fear because we're absorbed in duality. So, true spirituality is a process to first realize who you are and how to act from that platform as your true self. So, service is an inherent quality of our soul. We can't get away from service. You serve your boss, you serve your children, you serve your husband, your wife, and if all else fails, you get a cat and you want to serve the cat because you have a propensity for a loving relationship. You can't find anyone on Tinder, so okay, let me go to SPCA and I'll get a cat because the soul wants to exchange some love. So, can we think of any situation, because we're talking about liberation, where we would voluntarily choose bondage? When we hear this, we're, that sounds off-putting. Can we think of any situation where you would put your hand up, yes, I want to be bound? Can anyone?
See the ice cream that's on sale.
That's short-term getting bound. Well, it'll, we won't go too much into the psychology of that, but anyway. Any other situation? Where are you going to choose to be bound? Yeah, anyone got a ring on their finger? Anyone have children?
Yeah.
I won't ask whether you chose to have the child or not in modern times, as you know. But sometimes people really plan. They want to have children. That's getting bound. At least 18 years.
Taking a loan for your house.
Loan for your house? I mean, what does mortgage mean, right?
When we get the job.
When you get a job. So, to enter into partnership, to enter into relationality, it's choosing to be bound. But it satisfies something in the heart. These are material analogies, they're not perfect. But it's that we willingly choose to enter into relationships of service and some constriction, because it's giving some nourishment to the heart. But because the material situations, they never fully satisfy. because the soul's looking for that spiritual exchange. So love willingly accepts limitation. The mind wants freedom, wants liberation, but love willingly accepts some limitations. So and we explored earlier, we can have everything, be content, but if we've got no one to share it with, what's the point? What's the point? You know, I've met many people in India in states of poverty, but quite often they're a lot happier than people in New Zealand that have a lot of material affluence, because they have God. And they have maybe big families in India, they have some loving exchange with their family. I'm not saying it's all in family, but the love wants to exchange, the soul wants to exchange love. So the soul longs for eternal loving relation. Now in the spiritual world, there's no fear, there's no anxiety, there is no lack of anything. So imagine a realm of existence where there's no lack. No World War III is coming, no tax bill, no increase in fuel prices, your pantry's not going to run out of food, everything's provided. What would be the most important qualities in that domain? Because in this domain we think what's important? Power, security, but all this is coming from fear and a sense of lack. But in a domain of no lack, what would be the most important qualities?
Sattvic. Sattvic?
Sattvic. What is sattvic?
Sattva in English.
Sattvic's material quality.
Yeah, but like in the sense of everything is pure, like
Everything is pure?
yeah, like
That realm's already pure. So in that pure realm, what would be most important? What would move us? Any ideas?
the relation with the one.
Say again? Joy? Love? Love and beauty. Love and beauty. These are the most important qualities in the spiritual world, because everything else is taken care of. So, in all beings of existence, God is most beautiful and has the most love. And that's why in the spiritual world, He is the center. But then you may think, oh, that sounds like who is this guy in the center and why do I have to serve him? I'm important. Why can't I be in the center? So in the spiritual world, everyone's serving God. But what's God doing? What do you think? What's some ideas? God, in Sanskrit, there's a term called Bhagavan. Bhagavan means one who's full of 6 opulences, has all knowledge, beauty, wealth, strength, fame, and renunciation. God's a person. God is a person. You're a person. We are people. Why can't God be a person? Why put him in a box? We need to let go of our material handicaps and stop projecting that on the transcendence. God is unlimited, so if He wants to have a personal form, and God actually does have a personal form, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anada Adi Govinda, Sarvakana Karanana, from whom everything is emanated. Aham Sarvasya Parvo Matam Sarvam Bharata Deity Macha Bhajante Mambarava Samanvitaha. Everything, all the spiritual and material worlds is emanated from me, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. God can say that. One time, I think last year, someone came and they said, I'm God. I said, okay, do you know mango lassi? You know, go to Indian restaurant, there's mango lassi, you've got the yogurt and the mango mixed up together. You ever had that? Really nice on a hot day. Oh, nice drink. So I said, you know mango lassi? And he's like, yeah, I know mango lassi. And I said, give me one right now. Because God can emanate millions of universes without breaking a sweat. So to manifest a mango lassi, no problem for you. Then he realized, oh, maybe I'm not God. So we have these ideas, but actually God's never an illusion. But we're subject to illusion. So we're both spiritual beings. We have some commonalities, but we also have some difference. So God is the original person. And so in the spiritual world, everything is centered around God. Everyone is in a loving relation with God. But what's God doing? What do you think? Sitting on a throne, judging everyone. Oh, yes. Oh, that guy ate too much ice cream today. I'll punish him forever. Is this the actions of a loving God? This is an archaic idea. It's got nothing to see with the transcendent, loving God. Because God is love. The judgmental prick, that's not a loving God. So, what God is doing in the spiritual world is He is serving all of His associates, because it's the plane of love. Everyone's serving God, and God is serving everyone. It's a loving exchange. When we think of God here in this realm, we superimpose our material experience. Okay, God, He's the oldest being, so therefore He's really old, and He's got a long white beard, and He's sitting on a cloud, and who's powerful in this world, a king or an emperor, so He must be like sitting on a throne. All material ideas, and we project that onto the transcendence. If you want a relationship with God like that, you can have that, but that's not the original sweet loving form of God. So God is serving everyone in the spiritual world. Yes, please.
So, God, the original person,
Mm-hmm.
and so if God is not looking like the guy with the white beard on the clouds, what is he looking like?
This is a beautiful question. What does God look like? Like that. There's different scriptures in the world, and some of them have some vague pointings of God. Many of them, they don't actually describe God in detail. But there used to be a culture all over the planet, and that culture is called Vedic culture. And the remnant of that universal culture has been preserved best in the land now known in India. And in those Vedic scriptures, full description of God has been given. And if you want to know what God looks like, He's right there. He's holding a flute. He's dressed in yellow cloth. He has long curling hair. Very charming. Like a 19-year-old. God never gets old. So if you're getting old, I'm sorry to say you're not God. God doesn't age. He's eternally fresh youth. His complexion is like a fresh rain cloud. His teeth are like rows of pearls. He has the Kastuba money gem around his neck. His skin's so soft, if a leaf will fall from a tree, it will leave an impression on his skin. He is beauty personified. But that is not the entirety of the Godhead. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shakti Ma, Dua Bado Vastanai, Sastra Praman. God, one soul, has become two to exchange love, because God also wants to relish love. So there's the male aspect, but there's also the feminine aspect. That is Radharani. So you'll see on the left side of Krishna is Radharani. That's the feminine aspect of God. One soul, but they've become two to exchange prema ras, divine love. So this is a good segue as we conclude the class to now come, actually 5,000 years ago, that original form of God was here on earth. In other parts of the world, He sends His messenger, He empowers some saint, He sends some angel, but the original form of God, He came to India. And there's one holy place in India called Vrindavan. Over 5,000 temples in this place, and even till today they still worship that original sweet form of God. very, very sacred place, and there's 12 sacred forests there. And in one forest it's called Kamyavan. So leave your material identity behind now and come to the transcendental Kamyavan. And in the spiritual world, God is always having fun with his associates. So one day, the male and the female aspect of the Godhead, they were at one pond, one kund. And there was many monkeys around. If you've been to India, parts of India, there's so many monkeys, you got to watch they don't steal your glasses or steal your fruit. So there was many monkeys around. And then Krishna was looking at the monkeys and he said, in Ram Leela, one of Radharani's, the goddess's associates, was looking at the monkeys, and she said, in Ram Leela, there was many monkeys. Ramachandra, another avatar of the Lord, he had monkey associates, and they helped him build a bridge to Lanka. Scientists, NASA has found today that remnants of that bridge are still there. So the monkeys helped the Supreme Lord build a bridge to Lanka in his avatar of Lord Ram. And then Krishna said, "Hey, I am that Lord Ram." And then Lalita, Radharani's quite bold girlfriend, said, "You're a liar, Krishna. You're not God. We'll believe you if you can call all the monkeys and get them to build a bridge across this lake." So then Krishna, he played his flute, and all the monkeys came and they built a bridge across the lake. And then Lalita said, the monkeys built the bridge, you just stood there, Krishna, this doesn't prove anything. So then they decided to play a game. It's called Looky Looky, hide and seek. But in the realm of love, everything's tricky. So generally when we think hide and seek, we think it's a very simple game. But in this land of love, because Radha and Krishna, they're always remembering each other, the lover and the beloved. Wherever they look, there's something that reminds them of the lover. Like if your lover goes away, when you're with your lover, sometimes material experience, you get annoyed. Left socks on the ground, whatever, But when your lover goes away, then you're meditating on the qualities. Where's my beloved? So the height of this is in the land of love. So in the forest of Braja, all the trees, all the flowers, they're reminding of Radha and Krishna of one another. So they're trying to play hide and seek, but when everything reminds you of the other person, then it's very hard to know, is that the person, or is that just something in my memory that reminding me of the person? So Krishna, he's in the forest and they're playing this game of hide and seek, and the Jamuna river is flowing in this land of Vrindavan, and the dark blue waves of the Jamuna river, they are reminding Krishna of the dark blue dress of Radharani. You see Radharani's wearing a blue dress. So the waters in the river is reminding Krishna of the goddess. And the golden champak flowers is reminding Krishna of the golden effulgence of the skin of Radharani. So everywhere he's seeing Radharani. So hide and seek, looking in one spot, but then everywhere. Udipana, stimulus to see Radha, 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 everywhere. And then the Radharani and her girlfriends, they're seeing Krishna everywhere. There's one tree called the tamal tree, which has a dark complexion. So then when they see the tamal tree, they think, is that Krishna? And they go up and they embrace the tree. So Udipana, the land of love, the lover and the beloved, they're being stimulated and remembering each other everywhere. So then Radha and Krishna, they're playing hide and seek, but they are so beautiful, they are so captivating. If Krishna runs to hide behind a tree, then the tree instantly goes into full blossom in any season. Flowers come out. So it's pretty hard to play hide and seek when you're hiding behind the tree and then boom, all the flowers come out on that tree. And the flowers on that tree, they're dripping nectar. So then Radha and Krishna, they are thinking, actually, their glance is like nectar. The gaze of the goddess, and Krishna, it is like nectar. So they're thinking, if I don't look at the trees, then they won't burst into ecstatic symptoms. They won't burst into blossoms, and it'll be easier for me to hide. But have you ever walked through the forest with your eyes closed? Not so easy. So Radha and Krishna, they're playing these games like this, but then they're hiding behind the tree, and then all the birds are usually very restless, but the birds become still, like rishis, sages meditating. And then you can see on that tree all the birds are like in samadhi. And the monkeys are usually going here and there, but the monkeys become still and just looking at the beauty of Krishna, looking at the beauty of Radharani. So then you can spot, oh yep, she's behind that tree. So there's many loving exchanges in the land of love. Our true home is to be an associate with the original form of God in the land of love. This is what the soul really longs for. This is our true home. So Krishna, he's walking through the forest here and there, and he's seeing one flower that reminds him of Radharani. So he goes to embrace that plant, but then that image of Radharani disappears, and then he sees her somewhere else, and he's running there to embrace her, but then disappears. And Radharani's watching this from afar, just looking at Krishna in his loving illusion. And then she steps out from behind a tree, and then Krishna's thinking, I won't fall for this again. Is this really Radharani, or is this just my loving imagination? So there's many loving games of Radha and Krishna in the spiritual world. So then again they decide to play looky, hide and seek, and they sometimes on the bank of the lake and sometimes into the lake. So then Krishna, he enters into the lake, and he says, yes, you try to find me after some time. And then after a very long amount of time, Krishna doesn't come out of the water. And so they're thinking, where's Krishna gone? And they're looking here, where's Krishna, where's Krishna, where's Krishna? And Krishna, because he's Yogeshwar, the master of all mystic powers, he's come out of the lake with his mystic potency and gone up one hill. And then from the vantage point of the hill, he's looking down at everyone running around trying to find him. Krishna likes to joke. God's not a serious guy. He's playful. So then Krishna, he begins to play his flute from on the mountaintop. And I started this class talking about Dutiya Binivesh, fear. There's a root foundation of fear, and the root cause of fear is when we turn our vision away from God. And soon as we have a vision away from the center, away from the source, we become lost in duality, and we're just lost in a myriad of fears and anxieties. And our heart becomes covered, like it's the natural state of water to be soft, clear, fluid. This is the natural state of the heart, but when we have this acquired nature, the heart becomes hard like ice. And because we've become in this acquired nature for such a long time, we think this acquired nature, fear, anxiety, this mentality of Hiranyakashipu is natural. But what happens when you take that same water out into the sun, the ice, it becomes natural liquid again. So bhakti yoga is simply a process of thawing out the heart for it to become melted. So Krishna, he's there on the top of the mountain, he's playing his flute. And rocks are usually very, very hard and solid. But in the land of love, everything's nature becomes reversed. So the rocks begin to melt. And water, which is usually flowing, becomes solid. And one little sparrow was taking a drink from a puddle, and the water became solid, and its beak became stuck. It was trying to get away. And the water in the Jamuna, it was reaching up, trying to touch the air that was coming from Krishna's flute. And the rock that Krishna was standing on, it began to melt. And even to this day, Krishna's footprints are still there on Charanpari, this mountain in Kamyavan. So there's very sweet pastimes of Krishna. and the gopis. And the gopis are saying to Krishna, oh, it is not our fault that we give up our dharma, because everything gives up its dharma, its natural quality, when it hears your flute song, because everything becomes captivated by the sound of Krishna's flute. Deer, they're usually very shy, and if they see any human, they run away. But when they hear the sound of Krishna's flute, the deer come running towards the sound of the flute. It is the natural quality of cows to chew grass, but when they drink the sound of Krishna's flute through their ears, they stop chewing and the grass is just hanging out of their mouth. The birds become stunned and they stop flying and they fall to the ground. So this is the power of Krishna's flute. It captivates the minds of everyone. The trees begin to drip honey. Krishna is so sweet because all of the nectar of Krishna is coming out through his lips into the flute and coming out in the form of flute song. It is the nectar of God. This is the sound of Krishna's flute. How sweet is Krishna's flute? The stones melt. Cows stop chewing grass.
Their mouth's just hanging there. Hear the sound and they just
become stunned. How beautiful is beauty personified, the sound of Krishna's flute. Radharani becomes captivated because Krishna's calling. He's calling to everyone with his flute. Kirtan, Harikatha, this is the call of Krishna's flute. Please come home. Come home. Why do you want to stay here suffering in anxiety and conflict? Of course, we can have beautiful experiences here, but they're temporary. They are only a reflection of the transcendence. So Krishna's calling, please come home, because each person has a particular nectar in their heart that Krishna is eager to relish. He's eager to have that loving exchange with you. So Bhakti Yoga is a process of service, of how to thaw our heart so it melts like the rock, and the sweetness of the soul can emanate, so one honeybee of Krishna can come there and relish that nectar. And the process of Bhakti Yoga engages the soul in service to God, because service is embodied love. It's embodied love. You want to serve the cat, you want to serve the baby, you want to serve the husband. It's a way of expressing your love. So Guru engages us in service to get us out of selfishness and into the true situation of the soul, of loving exchange with God. So there's a great science to Bhakti Yoga, to allow that heart to thaw and allow the eternal love to manifest. So that's given a very brief touch upon the topic of love and liberation. Thank you very much for listening. And if anyone has any thoughts or reflections, please I welcome any questions or sharing. Hare Krishna. Complaints also welcome.
he means that.
Yes. It helps me serve you better in the future. And you know, spiritual life it's questions and answers. You'll see in the writings, it's all questions and answers. Guru, disciple. I'm no guru, but people inquiring, you know. And you cannot surrender to that plane of love when your heart is plagued with many doubts. So if you have any doubts, please, we can discuss. Yes.
You feel like you are in that place where your heart is not hard. What does that feel like inside of your body? How do you feel whenever you're experiencing bhakti?
We touched upon this a little bit in our previous class, that I think everyone here has had the experience when you sit down, maybe to meditate, maybe not even in meditation, you're sitting down, maybe just at the beach, or you're watching a sunset, even just having a cup of tea. And previous to that, maybe during the day, early in the week, you're absorbed in the small self, problems, anxieties, maybe you had some conflict, whatever. And when you're in that state of the small persona, it's really heavy, confined feeling, heavy in the body, you experience it. It's not pleasant feeling. But in that even momentary state of peacefulness, that identification with the small self drops away. And in that experience, I think everyone has had this, it feels like coming home. And it's a tangible, somatic experience in the body. It feels pleasant. So, dropping who you think you are paradoxically gives the feeling like you've come home. But we're always engaged in a campaign of trying to we're endeavoring around the small center. But when we drop that, even for a moment, oh my God, does it feel good? Dropping that burden. So in the practice of bhakti, it's coming home. Because also, God is his name. There's no difference between God and his name. So when you're chanting, it's a direct communion with God when you're chanting purely. It's a direct relation. The soul and God are relating in that moment. So we can talk about philosophy all day, but the proof is in the pudding. Yeah? And so the praman, the evidence, will be your own experience when you're feeling it in your heart. So we're about to do a little bit more kirtan now, and I invite everyone, just for a moment, drop the philosophy, drop the theology, drop your prejudice, drop what you think you know about Hare Krishna or any religion or any chanting. Drop it, because there's actually only one religion. There's only one religion, and that is pure, loving exchange with divinity. That divinity is known by many names. When that one true religion becomes intercepted by reward-seeking activity, by selfishness, then it looks like it becomes many religions. But there's only one pure religion, and that's the essence of many religions. So there's pure practitioners in many paths, practicing the true religion, pure devotion to God. So get out of your mind into your heart and chant with your full enthusiasm, and just see from your own experience what it's like. Any other questions? Doubts? Complaints? We're all convinced? Sign up here. You know, Krishna is a really reasonable guy. In Bhagavad Gita, he's given an overview of all religions, all philosophies, and the overview contains, by practicing these various systems, what will be the destination, what will be the outcome. So he's not saying, you should believe in this or forever. At the end of Bhagavad Gita, he's saying, I've explained all this to you. Now do what you want. Because love is voluntary. Krishna wants your love more than anything. But he knows he can't force it. But you take one step to Krishna, he'll take 10 steps to you. Because he's the butter thief, ready to steal that love from your heart.
You want to do it? Yeah. I said, Krishna Govinda,
Good.
Seems appropriate. Seems appropriate.
I stopped.